Which of the following is the fully factored form of x cubed plus 3x squared minus x minus 3? Right, so let's consider f of x as x cubed plus 3x squared minus x minus 3. And what we want to do here is we want to figure out some factors. So we're going to use the factor theorem, which is a subset of remainder theorem. And in order for us to do remainder theorem, where we plug in values to figure out when the remainder is equal to 0, that identifies a factor, right? If f of k gives us remainder of 0, then x minus k is a factor, and this is basically what factor theorem is. We want to figure out some points that we can test, right? So this is where we're going to use the integral 0 theorem. So I'm going to call this IZT. And the integral 0 theorem tells us that some of the potential factors that you could expect are plus minus the potential factors factors of the constant over plus minus the factors of the leading coefficient. Okay, so some of the factors are constant. Well, our constant value here is -3, so some of our values are plus, minus 1, and 3, and the coefficient here is plus minus 1. Okay, so this is a degree of 3. Let's figure out one of the factors, and then we can use synthetic division or long division to find the rest of the factors. So I'm going to start by testing out f of 1. So if I do f of 1 here, you get 1 cubed plus 3 times 1 squared minus 1 minus 3. This is going to give me 4 minus 4, which is 0. So this actually worked out. Okay, so f of 1 is equal to 0. So according to the factor theorem, x minus 1 is a factor. Now, because x minus 1 is a factor, I'm going to find the remaining factors by employing long division, right? So if I do, or synthetic division, you can use synthetic or long, right? Actually, you know what? Let's do synthetic division for this. This is probably easier. Okay, so I'm just going to do it out here. Okay, I'm going to put the coefficients inside this bracket, but I'm just going to write down the terms. Well, let's just lower that out there. I'm going to write the terms up top. So this is x cubed, x squared, x to the power 1, x to the power 0. It just helps us to keep us consistent, organized. And we plug our k value out here. So there's the 1, and I put the coefficients here basically, right? So the coefficients for the x cubed term is 1, for the x squared term is 3, x to the power 1 term is -1, x to the power 0 term is -3. I'm going to bring this down, so this is 1. I'm going to multiply it, so you get 1 here. 3 plus 1 is 4. 1 times 4 is 4. -1 plus 4 is 3. 1 times 3 is positive 3, and then you add them and you get 0, right? So the values here, this is x squared, x to the power 1, x to the power 0, and this is your remainder. Okay, now what you want to do here is you want to look at your quotient. So your quotient here is x squared plus 4x plus 3. Okay, so you can notice that your quotient is a quadratic, and as a quadratic, that's factorable. So right now, this is what you have in factored form. This is the product of your dividend, x cubed plus 3x squared minus x minus 3. You can actually factor this further. So the x squared plus 4x plus 3 can be factored as x squared plus two numbers that add up to 4, then multiply 3, 3x plus x plus 3. If you factor this out, you get x plus 3 plus 1, x plus 3. So you get x plus 1 times x plus 3. Okay? So collectively, you can rewrite f of x here as x plus 1 times x plus 3 times x plus 1. And if you group the x plus 1's together, you get x plus 1 squared times x plus 3. So the fully factored form of this function, I think the best case scenario here would be x minus, sorry about that. This should be x minus 1, not x plus 1. That's why I made a mistake there. This is x minus 1, guys. Sorry about that. So we can't group it together. Just be careful. Don't make mistakes like what I just did. Right? So, yep, this is what happens when you do questions in real time. right? So here you get x plus 1 times x minus 1. You can write it as x squared minus 1 times x plus 3. So now the answer becomes evident, and we can stick with part A or part B. I'm just going to go with part B because you want a fully factored version, right? So you can rewrite it like x squared minus 1, but ideally they want you to keep it fully in factored form. So this is your answer.